Casey Dykes. In less than one human lifespan, Christopher Columbus exterminated nearly an entire culture of millions of people. Everyone in this classroom has taken a history class with Mr. Tesler and been taught about what Christopher Columbus has done. Christopher Columbus was detrimental to the people of the lands that he discovered. First, I will be talking about what most people know. Next, I will be talking about the things that a lot of people aren't aware of. And finally, I will be talking about what people are doing to spread the knowledge that Christopher Columbus is not a hero. So let's begin by talking about the basic knowledge most of us have. Throughout schools and classrooms, many of us know the same things. And according to Valerie I.J. Flint, a professor of history at the University of Hull, England, and Britannica Academica author, in the article Christopher Columbus, published in 2008, most of us have the same general knowledge. This knowledge includes that Christopher Columbus was an explorer, and he came from Spain, and he was trying to improve on the imperialist mission that Spain was trying to accomplish during this time. Most people also know that he thought he discovered the West Indies, but actually he discovered what is now North America. And people also know that he was trying to convert these natives to Christianity. According to David E. Stannard, a professor of American Studies at the University of Hawaii with a PhD from Yale University, in the book American Holocaust, The Conquest of the New World, published in 2006, a lot of people ignore these facts because of the Western civilization that Christopher Columbus was bringing to these new people. A lot of people thought that this overshadowed the bad things because he was bringing a new way of thinking and a religion that in a lot of people's minds was more advanced than the religion of the natives. It's also that people are young when they're starting to learn about Christopher Columbus, that they don't know what's happening because it's hard to talk about such a violent topic to such young minds. Now that we know what most of us know about Christopher Columbus, we are going to talk about the bad things that a lot of people aren't aware of. And there are a lot of things that many people have never been educated about. One of the things that Christopher Columbus did is he brought disease to the Native Americans. One way that he did this was he brought domesticated pigs over from his land in Spain. And this brought an influenza that killed thousands of Native Americans all over the lands. One of Christopher Columbus's explorers was recorded saying that there were too many Native Americans to even count how many were killed. Christopher Columbus also committed genocide with the Native Americans. Throughout this entire period of Christopher Columbus killing the Native Americans, more Native Americans were killed than Jews were killed in Hitler's Holocaust. One thing that was recorded happening was some of the conquistadors would take babies away from their mothers and throw them against rocks so they would be killed. In the village of Zucayo, 20,000 people were recorded being killed, and these people were the same people that greeted these conquistadors with food and a huge feast to welcome them. Christopher Columbus also introduced slavery to Europe. He was recorded earlier being involved in the first African slave trades, and involving the Native Americans. On one of his voyages, he brought 1,600 Indians back. But because of also the disease and genocide that was going on, only 400 of them even made it back to the land of Spain. Now that we talked about what people do not know about Christopher Columbus, we're going to discuss what people are doing to try and improve this situation. According to Amy McKenna, a senior editor at Encyclopedia Britannica, in the article Columbus Day, published in 2013, states that a lot of people are trying to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Christopher Columbus Day. 4 states nationally celebrate this holiday, including Minnesota, Alaska, Vermont, and South Dakota, and numerous cities all across the United States have started to take on this new celebration also. Another thing that's going on is schools are trying to teach older students about this. An example of this is myself in my current AP US History class. This was the first year that I actually had the opportunity to read articles and learn about this as well. First, I talked about people's general knowledge of Christopher Columbus. Then I talked about the things that people aren't aware of. And finally, I talked about what people are trying to do to improve what is going on. Christopher Columbus was detrimental to the people of the lands that he discovered. In Christopher Columbus's lifetime, he exterminated nearly an entire culture of people. In our lifetime, let's be the ones to not let this go unnoticed.